probably spending an entire paycheck on food and drink.
I will say most of the food and drink is shared. Like, I put it all on my card, and then my partner will Venmo me the half. That's all the Venmo transactions. So
let's say you then, a lot of the transactions came from you, and then he Venmo you'd half. But before the Venmo, it was 50% of your income. If you're splitting it, it's still 25% of your income.
Yeah. It's a lot. My name's Chelsea. I'm from Austin, Texas, and I'm 30 years old.
What do you do for a living?
I do email marketing, and I actually just got promoted to an email marketing manager.
Nice. Congratulations. What was the previous salary?
It was $65,000.
65, and now you're moving up to
83.
Ooh, big jump.
It was a huge jump. It was 2 levels.
2 levels. So how'd you get this promotion?
I think I got hired in overqualified for the role.
Okay.
I wasn't really looking for anything super demanding because I kind of came from a job that burned me out. So I was looking for something a little more manageable, exceeded their expectations once I started working there. And then after a year, they were like, we want to keep you. We want to keep you happy. Let's move you up.
So it was only a year?
Yeah. I started, I actually started a contract.
Okay.
In April of 2021, was contract for like 2-3 months, then went full time, and then literally just signed my offer yesterday.
Oh, wow. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is sweet. Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So $83,000, that probably will come out to, what are we thinking? Maybe like...
I did a little rough math. I think it was like $2,550.
$2,550 per paycheck? Is that what you mean? Okay, that was just about where I was. So that makes sense.
Yeah, that's with, I do 401k, and then health insurance.
How much do you put into your 401k a month?
Right now I'm doing 5%.
And that's matched?
Yes. It's matched up to 3%, and then 0.5% up to 5%.
Interesting. Okay.
And that's weird.
Yeah.
So essentially it's like 4.5%.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, so you were living off of just, the $65K before that. Looking at your checking account is mostly just transferring things back and forth.
Yeah.
Or just, paying off the card, transferring things, and then there's also some Venmos as well. So, this is where all the Venmo action happens.
Yep. My debit account is essentially like the middleman between my money and like my credit card.
Yeah.
So I never walk around with like my actual debit card.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And I see your paycheck before that was $1,953. So after everything, jumping that up about $500 per paycheck now.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet. So really nothing too crazy to say about your checking account. There was a beginning balance of $1,282, and then after deposits of $5,970 and withdrawals of $5,296, ending balance of $1,957. Do you feel comfortable with just about $2,000 in there?
Honestly, that was kind of a weird one. Typically, right before a paycheck, I'm trying to settle out my account. If that's like moving all the money into savings or investing, I would like to have $2,000 regularly, but that's not typically the case.
Why do you think it's not?
Just because I'm within the budget that I've built for myself, I settle it out every 2 weeks so that it's a zero balance.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So the credit card where you spend all your money on, though. Some Rapids reward card, you spent purchases of $5,021.92, and you made payments or credits of $5,203.29. Now there is a balance technically when you pulled this, but assuming just based on what I'm seeing here, you don't hold balances, correct?
No, I usually pay it off at the end of every month.
Okay.
Avoid that interest.
Usually? What does usually mean?
So my most recent, I was just traveling for 3 weeks, pretty much on vacation, and so I had a balance because I wasn't like on my computer paying it. Like,
you don't just use a mobile app?
No. I like to have my computer because I'll have like my spreadsheet up and I can kind of like see everything. But sometimes I will let like 150, 200 stay.
Why?
Because I just miss it.
Well, why not do automatic? have it
Can you do
automatically.
automatic to do the whole?
So it probably do. I don't know this account specifically, but with many accounts you can.
Yeah.
I don't know about Southwest Rapid Rewards.
It's just like a Chase.
Oh, yeah. Oh, with Chase, I think you should be able to. I think I do.
To balance out. Yeah. So, like, the way I do it is I'll look at my spreadsheet that I've built and, like, see, okay, I know I get paid on this month. The credit card is due at this month.
Yeah.
However much money is in my account, I'm making sure I'm just kind of putting it towards the credit card.
I just with the way you're doing it, accumulating any kind of interest is, like, pointless because you don't have to, and then you're just like losing any of the minimal rewards that come with this.
Sometimes I will overspend, like on say I have $2,000 in my bank account, I'll spend $2,500 on the credit card if I know that my next paycheck is before the due date.
Okay. And we're not taking in account any random layoffs or anything with that.
No.
Yeah. Now, probably just with the way pay works, you'll probably still get a final check, but either way.
I will say, speaking of layoffs, when I first moved to Austin, I was laid off after working for 6 weeks.
Wow, 6 weeks?
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, they knew they were doing layoffs while they were interviewing me, but just wanted to keep business as usual.
How long did it take for you to find another job?
Luckily, I had a friend that worked at another local company who referred me, and I was able to get another job. But a couple weeks. It wasn't that long.
And I know you have an emergency fund now, but did you have one then?
Nope.
Ooh.
No, I did not. It was terrifying.
So what did you do? Were you putting everything on debt then?
Yeah. Luckily, it wasn't like too much time where I was paying rent or any major bills. But yeah, definitely charging it.
Yeah, so you definitely went on vacation.
Yeah.
Got a flight, got a lot of Ubers, some Amtrak, some Lyft, some Austin Airport spending, some Metro spending. And then there were some other things, couldn't 100% tell if it was traveling, but at a minimum you spent $500. It was likely closer to like $700, $800, depending. So what was this trip?
This was just a trip for music. And also I went and met some coworkers for the first time at the new job. So flew into...
They didn't cover it?
So it was actually my idea to come. I was going to Atlantic City already, and the company I'm working for is based out of Virginia. So I have actually been meaning to see if they would expense any of it. I just haven't asked.
Oh, yeah, let's ask that, because that's a lot of money.
Well, I was thinking at least one-way flight and like one Airbnb night. Yeah. But I just haven't asked.
What's Justine's Brasserie?
It's a local spot here. It's French, but it was a dinner date night with my boyfriend and I.
Oh, a $223 one.
Yeah, we kind of like to ball out on dinners, but what we've done is I'll put all the money on my card, get the miles, and then he'll pay me half via Venmo. But it is exuberant.
It is exuberant.
I can admit to that.
Because it's a 30-day statement. Chipotle, some brewing things, some 6th Street spending, Star Bar, Better Half Bar, Home Slice, Lebanese Grill, House Wine, Half Step Cocktails, Carpenter's Hall, Numero 28, Rain on 4th, Chipotle, Elizabeth Street Cafe, Saffron Indian, Nick's Grill, and there were some more as well. Just there's like an extra couple Paneras and the one that we already mentioned. So there was a lot that didn't even include in that list I just read out, but you easily spent $1,500, $1,750 most likely. I know a minimum $1,400, but since I didn't even know what that was, that immediately makes it go to $1,400, like 50 almost. Mm-hmm. That's a lot that you're spending. Now you mentioned like the Venmo back, but you're probably spending almost a full. Actually, with what your last income was, you're probably spending an entire paycheck on food and drink.
I will say most of the food and drink is shared. Like I put it all on my card and then my partner will Venmo me the half. That's all the Venmo transactions. So
let's say you then, a lot of the transactions came from you and then he Venmo you'd half. But before the Venmo, it was 50% of your income. If you're splitting it, it's still 25% of your income.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Why so much?
I think I justify it because my cost of living is pretty low.
What's the rent?
The mortgage is $1,200 and the HOA is $300.
It is a very cheap mortgage, at least for here.
Yeah.
How much is the HOA?
$300.
$300? Is this like a condo?
Yeah.
Okay. At least in a cool area?
Up and coming.
Okay.
It's just south of the river.
Well, that's good. How many rooms? What's the square footage?
2 bedrooms. I think it's just under 800 square feet. So it's 2 1.5 bath.
And do you both split that, or is that just all you?
Yeah, no, we split that. And as of this month, just had a friend move in, so now we're splitting it 3 ways.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A little bit of house hacking there.
Yeah, big time.
Okay, well, with you splitting it, I mean, and do they split the HOA as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We actually just did the numbers today, and it's going to be $510.69 a month per person. For Austin, it's pretty affordable.
No, that's incredibly affordable for Austin. Yeah, actually, kind of crazy. So that took up previously like a fourth of a check.
Do you know what a good percentage is for your living expense? Like what percent of your
I
paycheck?
wouldn't want to do more than 25%.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh, of paycheck? No, of pay. So this was of a paycheck. This was about 25%.
Yeah.
Of your pay, we're looking, half that. So, no, you're definitely well within it now. What there always could be is relationships sometimes don't work out.
Sure.
Sometimes roommates leave.
Yeah.
So there is always that risk. But even still, with the essentially $1,500 a month after HOA and everything, it's not that bad, and you should be able to afford it, especially with the promotion in the worst case. And I do like that situation, but I don't like that you're justifying an inflation of your eating out. Like, it's not great because that money could be going to better things.
Absolutely. And
how often do you guys eat out a week?
It's kind of like an ebb and flow thing. Like before vacation, maybe up to 3 times. And eating out, I would say that even considers like delivery or takeout.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Right after vacation, when the bank account's a little dry, we'll cook at home, maybe go out once.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think I just got back on the 20th, and in the last 7 days, we've cooked like every meal.
Why don't you all save up money on the side for vacation, so when you go on vacation, it's money...
I have started doing that, but not as proactive as I'd like to. Like putting the money into my savings, and then when I come back, take this from the savings to pay off the credit card.
At least your boyfriend's splitting it. Because this would be really bad. It's still 25%. I still do not like that. That's
what I was going to say. It is something I do want to get a better handle of. I am a Dave Ramsey expat, if you can call it that. I did his whole thing in 2018, 2019. I kind of started. 15 months, I paid off $35,000 in debt.
Wow, $35,000 of what kind?
Student loan, car payment, credit card.
Okay.
So my car is paid off. I paid off a private student. Well, actually, it was a Perkins loan, $5,000 Perkins loan, and then I think there was like almost $15,000 in credit card debt. Okay. So I have had my experience with getting into credit card debt. So it is something I want to be cognizant of in the future.
Yes, you're doing these credit cards well. I just think you're spending a little too much of your income on the food and drinks. And it's probably even more than we said, because I saw some things in there that sometimes unless you don't know them by name, it's kind of hard, but you can kind of tell, but I didn't want to 100% add it to the list. Okay. But you spend a lot of money on food. A lot of money.
I know. It's pretty much all my money goes to food and music.
What's the music? You mean like concerts?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so what band did you travel to go see and spend like almost $1,000?
Goose.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of them?
I actually haven't, no.
It's like a jam band, kind of Grateful Dead vibe.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, follow them around a little bit.
So I mean, you can afford to go do cool stuff like that. I just wish it was a little better budgeted in. You mentioned doing a budget. Mm-hmm. Are you budgeting out all these meals and drinks? Do you say how much you can spend on it a month and you do not spend a penny more?
No.
Then what's the point of a budget if not budgeting?
It's to help me at least have a pulse on what's going on in my bank account and be able to know exactly where I'm at any given time, because I do update it every other day, if not every day. It's almost compulsive.
Yeah. So, yeah. It might be time to budget how much you're allowed to spend on food. And be on the same page with your boyfriend as well when it comes to that, since you guys, kind of spend together and split it. So
Yeah. And it's not something I don't know.
What's his income?
He's in the 80s as well.
Okay. I was just curious because I was wondering, like, what percentage of his income, not that it matters for your conversation, but, I was just curious. So, yeah, you guys are spending a good percentage of both y'all's income on that, and that is a lot. Amazon, you didn't spend too much. You have the Prime card. Prime card's great. One of the best store cards there is. 5% cash back on everything. $178 of Amazon. You just had a few orders. $5.56, $29. 21, 37.50, 12.97, 20.20, 52.51, and 20.20 again.
Yeah, and I will say most of them, I just got a cat, so it's a lot of like cat things that I need that I don't feel like driving out to get.
Yeah.
I'm actually up for renewal on my Prime account, and I think I don't want to renew it. I don't really want to support Jeff Bezos that much anymore.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And it's just like superfluous spending. So I don't know. I don't really see that.
You'll have to be making those road trips to Petco, though.
True. There is Tomlinson's, a local pet shop that does same-day delivery for free.
Oh, okay. Well, that's sweet.
Yeah.
So not too much spending on here. Would you say you typically spend this amount or less or more on Amazon in a month?
Probably less.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's really not that crazy.
Unless, like, I just moved or, like, I need to, like... it varies. It varies.
Would you feel disgusted if I told you today I dropped $2,500 on Amazon to build a new set?
I saw some packages outside.
Oh yeah, they're coming in slowly for the set we're building. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't because it's
I feel disgusted. That's way too much money.
Hey, you're talking to me about feeling disgusted about overspending.
Yeah, that was less than your travel and food budget by probably like $1,000. You do have a savings account.
Yes.
What's weird about the savings account is you withdrew from it instead of putting more in it. $18,147.55 in the starting balance. Took out $1,560. Remaining balance is $16,708, and it was just one pull of that $1,560 that you took out. So it wasn't like a repeated thing, which is usually a good sign because if there's usually repeated things, this is people who are just spending too much and they have to continue to take it out. Now I have a feeling you probably spent a little too much on this vacation.
So actually, my billing cycle for this ended on the 11th, and on the 12th, I had refurbished this money. I had replenished this money.
Why was it taken out in the first place?
I was fronting the bill on Airbnb, and then everyone Venmo'd me, and I paid it.
See, you should have enough in your... That's not what emergency funds are for, though.
You're right.
I'm happy that you replenished it, but this is not what they're for.
No, it's not. We can call it a millennial emergency.
This is why you need to have, if you're going to travel and you can afford to do it, you need to have a separate little account or something that you just have some travel money in.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking about, too, because I just have my checking and my savings, and it's very tempting to pull from the savings because it's so accessible. Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist. We don't even pretend like this exists. And then I think that emergency fund's pretty comfortable for your mortgage and, paid off car because you could obviously cut back eating out if something bad were to happen. So I think it's comfortable back up at that $18,000 now, right?
Yeah. And the goal down the road, I know you're going to ask me this, but is to buy a house elsewhere. So I kind of do want to build up more for a down payment too.
Okay, well, that's going to be separate, to be clear. You're not going to pull from the emergency fund to put a down payment, correct? We've seen people on this show make that mistake, and then they are in pretty sketchy situations. This money doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist unless bad things happen. Don't get tempted. This isn't money you can spend. And then you should probably have, either have that little travel fund or just do $5,000 in your checking account at all times in case that Airbnb thing happens. And you just push that because that's money that exists.
Right.
This. Don't touch this again. No more. Bad.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it is not included in your house fund. There's been a few too many people on the show who think it is, and they get into yikes situations. You don't want to be in a yikes situation, especially when you did the whole, Dave Ramsey thing a couple years back.
Right.
You want to be in the best position possible if you've already gotten yourself into a much better position. But I am happy with where it is now. I'm glad that you replenished it. I think that's a good size for you.
Yeah. Okay.
You have some investment accounts.
Yes.
Fidelity, this is the Roth?
Yes. Fidelity has a Roth and a rollover IRA.
Okay. Your other one's a rollover?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the part of my finances that I'm really kind of just winging it.
What do you mean?
I will do my like research online, some podcasts here and there, some friends, but I don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to this.
Well, in this one's okay. I'm okay with this one. The other ones are a little riskier, but I am happy with the... Makes up about a third of your overall investment portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
So it began at 11,120. You put 2,550 in. It lost $3,228 in value, and that's fine. It has a current value of 10,178.42. 91% is in mutual funds. 9% is in stocks. I'm glad with this. I'm happy with this. That 9% stocks is all in one stock, though. That's a little curious. It's all in Apple.
Yes. So, and that one's in my Roth. I think Apple had just split or something had happened where it was really cheap. So I just wanted to buy it. Oh, that's what it was. And I still had like $1,000 left in my rollover account that was just sitting there. And Apple's treated me well for like 6 years now. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, because this 9% is not the only Apple you have.
No, I've kind of got it sprinkled all over the place.
Yeah. You have a good amount of your portfolio into one stock. Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah. Like I said, it was it was the first stock that I ever bought in like 2014. And since then it's treated me well.
Yeah.
And I'm obviously a user of Apple products, so.
Sure.
Yeah.
9% of one portfolio, that's fine.
Yeah. So all the other ones in my Roth, that's like my friend's boyfriend is really into numbers, and he recommended these portfolios to buy.
Yeah, they were pretty good. They're just some classic.
Okay, good.
So, really nothing too crazy there. And then your rollover, this is where it gets a little more wild because it's 100% stocks. Started at 7,631. You didn't put anything in, but it did lose some value. It actually lost so year to date. Oh, that was this period. Sorry. Started at 9,783, then it lost 3,041. Now it's at 6,741. This is all stocks.
Yes.
And it is only 3. Sorry.
I was going to say, I think it's only 3.
Apple. Lots of Apple.
I like Apple.
And Tesla. You don't like Tesla?
Oh, no. Love Tesla. I mean, I don't own one, but I like the company.
I was expecting you to say the same thing.
I think I just like Apple more.
And then a cannabis thing.
Yes.
It's mostly the Apple and Tesla. 3,000 each, and then...
Truly really tanked on me.
Are we surprised?
No.
Shocker.
Just optimistic.
I don't like that this entire portfolio is just in single stocks.
So this one, it was my first job ever. I had the 401k, had the 9,000, left the job. It got pulled over into a rollover. I had no idea what to do with it. So I just had $9,000 and the internet to educate me on what to do with it. And that's what I did.
Wait, when was this?
So the first job was in 2014.
Okay.
And then...
So you didn't do the whole debt cleanup thing around then?
Nope. This was before that.
Tesla was at 383 beginning of the year, now at 277.
Yes.
You're taking a pretty big hit on this one.
Yeah. I do also have Tesla in other places.
Over the course of 1 year, it is up, but not by much. You're feeling pretty bullish on Tesla? You want to ride it for the long term, or do you want to kind of...
No, I want to ride it for the long term, yeah.
So you're not willing to change this account?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
I mean, I guess maybe the Apple, but...
Why the Apple? That's like the only
I know.
one that's like...
Doing
at least
well.
You know their company is like kills it. Like, I mean, Tesla's been doing well in terms of like the last couple of years, but, it's mostly just... wild in the stocks, but like Apple's justified with its income and how much money they have just sitting on the side and the products they create and everything like that. And I am a fan of Tesla. I really want a Tesla, but I don't know. I wouldn't do this.
But. And this is what I'm saying. Like, I'm just winging it. Like, I think those are really cool companies and want to support them. So that's kind of my justification.
Fair. Well, it is fair from like when you're just winging it, you put it into companies that you find pretty cool. It might make sense to sit down with like a licensed financial advisor who will reevaluate your entire portfolio and balance it. Because right now we have 3 different accounts. One has 9% in stocks. One has all of it in stocks and all of it in 3 stocks, mostly 2. This is not very well balanced. Yeah. It's kind of risky.
I would like to meet with a financial advisor. I just also don't want to pay them.
No, well, luckily you get a free sit down because you came here. So.
I know.
we have a connection who will sit down with people for free.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, who come on the show. So.
Oh, that would be incredible.
Yeah, I'll get you their contact afterwards. And then you have a TD account.
Yes.
Surprise, surprise, it's all stocks, including some meme stocks. We have ANC in here. Carnival, why do you have 207 in Carnival? Did you buy it at the bottom of the pandemic?
I did, and I made like 500%. It was insane. Yeah. And then I think I bought it at 8, and it went up to 50. Or sorry, 500. No, that's not right. I would have to look back, but it was a crazy big.
You should have sold.
I know, but I was holding. I was wanting to hold out. Because prior to the pandemic, their average was like 70 a share. That's what it was. I bought it at 8. It got all the way up to like 50, 60. But previous to the pandemic, their 52-week high was like 70. So my dreams
right before the pandemic, for even 2 years, their highest was 70, but only just a couple years up before the pandemic. We're talking like mid-50s. It was mostly at. It was trending downward for years and years. And then, yes, I think that was a good play at the beginning of the pandemic. I would have done that, and with a small percentage of my portfolio, threw a lot into it. Mm-hmm. But and then yes, it rised, and now it's following its original trend, and it's on the way down. Not a great move.
No, I should have sold it then.
Yes,
but I think I was just holding out that it would get back to that 70, or I was dreaming that it would be 100, and I'd be.
I don't know anything about the carnival industry or the cruise industry, Carnival, but. Yeah, and then you got some Amazons.
Yes, I just got the Amazon because they split recently.
And you're like an actual like stock trader. You are a swing trader. You're a swing trader.
Oh, what does that mean?
Well, a lot of people call it day trading, but day trading's
okay, actually, when like things fall, trading. You buy and
you're
sell
buying like like multi-week, multi-month, maybe even like a year type stuff. So now you're swing trading this stuff. You're having trouble getting out of it, it seems like sometimes. Surprise, there's more Tesla in here. Surprise, there's more Apple in here. There's 48 Apples in here. Mm-hmm. 7,800 of this 16,000 of this portfolio. Now, this portfolio is up, which is cool. Yeah. But, and I do like Apple as a stock. I actually do I kind of like Tesla as a stock, not for a good part of my portfolio. Hate AMC as a stock.
I was just going to say I need to address the meme stock.
Yeah, go for it.
When everything was going on, the whole meme, yes. I bought into it. It was fun. Me and my friends were doing it. And so I think I spent like $1,000.
It's a lot of gambling money.
It was a lot. I got up and where I was able to cash out $3,000. And then I think there's like 5 left. I just left those for funsies, essentially, at this point.
Oh, cashed out. Sold it just recently because it popped up again.
Really? And that's another thing. I'm not monitoring this.
If you're not willing to, first of all, I don't like swing trading. Stupid. Second, instead of just regular investing. Second, if you are going to swing trade, you have to monitor it on a daily basis. Yeah. You need to know the ebb and flows. Well, swing trading isn't stupid. I actually know people in my life who do it well. I also know a lot of people in my life who do it really horribly. And the vast majority do it horribly. So, I don't know. The fact that only one of your portfolios is mutual funds and 2 of them are all stocks, a third of your portfolio is all single stocks, and there's not very many in terms of diversification between those stocks. It's just a lot of Tesla, lots of Apple, and then you have a stupid amount of Carnival that it should be time to cut your losses.
Yeah.
I'd rather have that $1,875 working for you in the future. And again, I'm not swing trading, so I do not know the in and outs of Carnival, so I cannot, I do not have an educated opinion on, whether or not Carnival will rebound, but still, this is you just have a risky portfolio.
I do. Yeah, I agree. And again, I'm just kind of having fun with it, but it's a lot of money to be having fun with.
It is. The investing can be fun, but find a fun thing that makes you money consistently, like rental properties. That's a portfolio, those are pretty good if you do it well.
Yeah.
And investing in general like this in the market can be fun. I know swing trading is kind of like a video game. Day trading is kind of like a video game. I have had that urge. I tried once, but this is not a long-term play. And 2/3 of your portfolio is not a long-term play. So big yikes there. Might be time to reassess. And honestly, how old did you say you are again?
30.
30, 16,000, 10,000. You're at like 30. You're 30. Your entire account is $32,000. That's too small for 30 for me. So there is the other side of it where how much of your income are you investing on a monthly basis?
I don't have like a regular amount for investing. I do try
Again, what's the point of the budget without having these set percentages?
Yeah, no, you're right. I think now with this opportunity of the pay increase, I can be more strict with the budget, giving myself like, all right, $500 a month on eating out.
I don't know. If the excuse of not being able to make a budget right now is that I'm going to do better because now I had an increase in living, that to me screams lifestyle creep, that it will just creep up. The food spending will increase a little. Yeah. Maybe we just have one extra eat out, or we're going to go to nicer restaurants, or we're going to travel more to concerts.
I was... In my budget, I put in it's like $497 per paycheck I'm making more. So that, I think I rounded it down to $450, just immediately putting it into my savings. Just so that I have been getting by with the $65K. If I do cut back on the spending, eating out, I can afford to just put all that extra money that I'm bringing in right into the savings.
If you're going to keep the single stocks, for this money that you're putting in your savings, and I would do a minimum 15%, if you follow the 50-30-20, or 20% if you follow the 50-30-20 rule. Sorry, 15 popped in my head because you mentioned his name earlier, but I like 20%, 50-30-20. If you're going to do the 20% and you want to keep the single stocks, put this other 20% into things like mutual funds and stack that up until the mutual funds is at least 75% of your portfolio, and the single stocks that you have now make up 25%. No more single stocks until you level out this portfolio. That. You can look at it like that way, and that's what I like to do. I like to follow the overall trend more than just single companies.
Yeah, I think that was just like less appealing. Maybe felt more boring.
It's more boring.
But I have no problem adjusting. And I honestly, when you said that like 2/3 of it essentially is like the Apple, the Tesla, right? Like, God forbid, knock on wood, those companies go out of business, like that's my portfolio is smacked. And I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, what if Apple has a massive scandal for some reason?
Right.
What if Tim Cook ends up being a serial killer or something weird?
That would be wild.
That would be wild. He seems so pleasant, but what if?
I know. I didn't think of it like that.
Then all of a sudden, like, 1/3 of your portfolio
shot.
Gone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, next on our list is those student loans. Now, you paid off a bunch already, you said. How much did you pay off?
I had a Perkins loan of $5,000 that I paid off. And then I was going back through my old budgets, and I had made a total of like $3,700 towards my main federal student loan. I think that one was originally at either 36 or 38. mind you, I paid $3,700 off and it's only at 35. And I feel like what I've paid is mainly interest.
Well, when you start paying off these kind of loans, it's, majority of the money that you're paying in goes to the interest. And then it eventually starts paying off the principal over time longer.
Okay.
So that's probably why I felt that way. But yes, you do have a good amount of student loans. What did you go to school for? What was the degree?
Information technology.
From where?
Florida State University.
Florida State. Are you from Florida?
Mm-hmm. Originally.
Okay, so you had in-state.
Yes.
Good amount of student loans you took out for Florida State.
Yes.
Was it just 4 years?
A little longer.
Yeah, how much?
Like 5.
Yeah.
And a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. Florida State's definitely a big party school, so it was hard to make my 8 a.m. classes.
Oh, yeah. So you were paying to party.
Yes, I was. And now I know that. Future Chelsea paid for college Chelsea to have a good time. Yep.
Yeah. And of course, these are split out across a bunch of different loans. There are some of these that I would honestly pay off immediately. A lot of the federal student loans, one, I want to see of the 35,000, of the 10,000 that will probably get forgiven. Mm-hmm. We'll see what actually happens. I want to see what these loans look like after that.
Yeah.
Hopefully it attacks the higher interest ones. I'm just not sure. But we have 6.8, 6.8, 6.8, 6.8, 6.8, 6.8. These 2,750, 2,750, 3,250, 1,420, 1,421, $1,000. So those I would, if those are not fully wiped out, from the 10,000 forgiveness, and I hope they are, I would try to pay those off pretty quickly because those interest rates are pretty high.
Yeah.
Even the ones that are just under 5%, I wouldn't necessarily touch those. I would do the minimum payments on, the overall balance of those together while you continue to invest. But it's after the forgiveness, it is time to knock out.
Yeah, I agree. That's been my plan. While it's been in deferment, I haven't made any payments toward it. I paid off all the interest that was on it and then just let it be in deferment.
And that's fine. Now that we know deferment's coming to an end, I think you can start now, though. Yeah. I wouldn't have without, assuming deferment kept getting kicked down the road. Yeah. But now that we have an official end date.
We do.
I gotta wait to see what the forgiveness is, though.
Oh, true. Well, I think that's happening next month. But I do have a question. I don't know how you're going to react to this. What if I used some of my emergency to alleviate some of this?
If you want to, I wouldn't go lower than, for what your mortgage is, I wouldn't go lower than like $6,000 in there.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then try to build that up as quick as you can afterwards. Right. No fun until you have an emergency fund.
Yeah. I will say all the things I have planned in the future are already paid for. Going out and stuff obviously isn't, but this meeting with you and getting the raise, I do want to kind of be back on top of my money and be in control of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And every once in a while, someone just needs a fire lit under their butt to get back on.
Yeah.
And in general, you're not doing terrible. We just got to clean some things up. I'm definitely okay with after the forgiveness, you take of that, what was it, 18,000?
18, it's 18 today, yeah.
Yeah, take like 12,000 of it, and
yeah, because then that could be half post forgiveness if
also, if you just want to pay all these off, that's not bad either. I'm just saying what I would do. I would just do the high interest ones at the 7%, and then the ones that are around that 4%, I would continue to invest because it makes more mathematical sense.
I like that.
Into different mutual funds like S&P 500 based index.
Okay.
Yeah. That is what I do, and that's just what I use as a basic example to make things make sense. It's usually the S&P 500, but. You can find mutual funds that outperform that as well.
So the one that is my mutual funds is my Roth. Mm-hmm. So I maxed that out. For the last 2 years, I've maxed it out at the 6,000. But I've lost money.
Well, yeah, especially this year. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but
you don't care year over year.
Okay, and typically that's not usually the case, right?
Well, year over year, anything can happen. We're talking over the course of decades when you go to retire. Yeah. That's what matters. So, We're definitely in a downtime for the overall market, and that's fine. And I would not make any investment decisions based on that. I would never time the market. I would just continue to put in.
Yeah.
And I would also see if your 401k can be Roth based and max that out every year as well, because that could help rebalance the portfolio. Now, you mentioned wanting to get a house. What's your plan around that?
Yeah. So honestly, I felt really confident about it coming here. Now, not so much.
Yeah, you just have some things to clean up before you can think about that. But
yeah.
Well, so you want to move out of the condo?
Yeah, the plan is to buy a house, honestly, out of Austin, because it's just not affordable anymore for me personally. Oh, sorry. So looking elsewhere. And total transparency, the plan was to use majority of the savings as a down payment. See, I was confident in that plan, but now I've seen the light. So I don't know. I'm kind of at this weird spot where the place I'm at is fine, but it's not where I want to be.
Yeah.
So financially it makes sense, but
there's things you can do to get there. If we switch seats and I was over there, what I would do today, I would wait to see what the forgiveness covers.
Yeah.
I would budget exactly what I'm allowed to spend going out to eat, and all your wants, I would spend no more than 30% of your take home. No more than 30% in there. And your needs, no more than 50%. You're well under that. So take whatever is left in that 50% of needs, throw that towards paying off these. Well, actually, I would probably take that little bit of the $12,000 from the emergency fund, pay off the high interest ones, and then take the 20% of your investment and whatever is left in your needs that you're not spending because your needs are pretty cheap right now because your mortgage and HOA is pretty cheap and you split it. Take the remainder from that category, throw it towards the emergency fund, build it back up to $18,000. Continue to max out your Roth, which you're doing, which is great. Max out your 401k. Try to, and no more single stocks that you're buying. Keep it if you want. I would rather diversify it now, but keep it you want. Max out your 401k and more, mutual fund type activities. And then, pay the minimum payments on the rest of the student loans that you have left. Then your emergency fund is rebuilt, your high interest student loans are paid off, and then after you max out your 401k, take the money that's not spent on the 30% on fun, whatever is put into the retirement, put the extra money on the side for a home. I don't see any reason why you can't put like $10,000-$15,000 towards that a year.
Yeah.
And then, in quite a few years, because you'll be buying outside Austin, I don't know where you're thinking, but you might be able to put like $50,000 down on a home, which could be like, well...
I mean, that would be like in 5 years, too.
Well, how much equity do you have in your condo right now?
Like 100,000.
Well, you'll sell that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so just keep saving up on the side, and then you'll use this, and then you'll put 20% down on another home as well. Hopefully your equity position in the condo by the time you go to sell will also increase.
Yeah.
You don't need to rush outside of the condo. Even though it's not the dream home, you don't need to rush out of it. You can have the dream home in a few years.
Yeah. I feel like I know that, but I don't want to.
Well, yeah, that's the being an adult.
Yeah, it is.
There's a lot of things we want to do. There's a lot of things I want to do. I want to go buy some Shake Shack right after this, but I'm trying to lose weight.
There we go.
So I'm not doing that. So, needs versus wants, should do versus what you want to do, do what you should do. There is what I would do
Yeah, I like that. And that's why I'm here. I'm like where your point of view is on things. Yeah. And I feel like the housing market will kind of calm down in a few years.
Housing market has already kind of calmed down in Austin.
It has started, yeah.
But by the time you go to sell in 5 years, I'm sure it'll be higher than where it is today. For Austin.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Austin.
And then you'll be able to buy where you want, which will be cool. What are your financial goals in life?
Buy a house, retire early.
You are not on track to retire early, to be clear.
What's that?
You are not on track to retire early, to be clear. But continues. I'm sorry, I interrupted.
That's okay. Financial freedom.
Okay. Of which you're not on track for, to be clear. Again, So I like those
Am
goals.
I at least
These are great goals. What
Okay.
you have to do is all of the raise goes to like maxing out your 401k, and then after maxing out your 401k, saving up for a house or putting it into, just a regular IRA or something. Then try to set yourself up for how much you can spend on food and drinks every month, and take the rest and put that into investments. You and a potential future husband?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
Potential.
Well, we'll talk about just you then. Even just making 83,000, that 83,000 will be 90,000 within a couple of years, probably. It'll probably be six figures within like 5 years, something like that. If you just continue the promotion train, and it sounds like you kill it there, which is great. So, with the income that you make and the income you'll continue to make, you have the chance to not only clean all this up very quickly, but get to the point where you can retire early. But you just got to figure out where you're willing to sacrifice.
Yep, where the priorities lie.
Yeah.
And back when I paid off all the debt, I was steadfast with it, and I've fallen off, kind of plateaued, and I kind of feel myself wanting to get that way again, like that be my passion again.
Yeah.
With COVID, and being locked down, it really made me realize what's important in life and wanting to have more experiential value. And so traveling and going to the music, doing all that has been a really high priority. But now it's like, okay, life's kind of settling to get a little bit normal again. So I do need to plan for 10, 20 years down the road, because that is kind of back on the table.
And again, you can do those things, and I want you to do those things after the high interest student loans are paid off and the emergency fund is back up to where it is now. Which I think you can do really quickly. I really can, because the forgiveness is going to help a lot for it to go through. So I think you can do the travel, but you have to set what that is. What are you putting towards that travel fund every month?
There's no.
I know you have to say what that is. Yeah,
right.
And then make sure it fits within your priorities, because I think you could easily do that. There's just no more. I want to travel. I want to make this concert, so I'm going to make it work in the money that I have now, which means you pulled from your emergency fund.
Yeah.
No more of that.
No.
We're setting priorities. We're budgeting within the priorities, and you have a lot of room to have fun still. Compared to the average American, you have a lot of room to have fun.
Yeah.
Let Chelsea know what you think about her financial situation in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going there. And if you want to see these things happen live and chat with me on a daily basis, feel free to join my private Discord linked in the description below. Shout out to my 4 Cups of Coffee supporters: Deal Martinez, Mark, Josh Bennett, Clayton006, Tyler Chong, Drew Smith, Timothy Williams, Sam I Am, Jason Spriggs, Nicholas Daly, Tom L, Jay Freedom, 8 Cups of Coffee supporters making the dream come true: Joseph Strickland, Anthony, an anonymous supporter, and Sam B03. Subscribe and stick around for more. Thanks.